Okay, so our next lightning talk series starts with Matthias Haag. He's the bare metal enthusiast and co-founder of Uhurutech, providing open source cloud platforms to their customers. And today we will learn about bare metal management with Redfish.
Thank you. Yes, hello. I'm Matthias. I'm founder and CEO of Uhurutech. I have a long history in Unix, Linux stuff, and not that much in network stuff that most of you probably have. Yeah. But always look from the server side to the network, and yeah, I'm keen in bringing open source to enterprises. And I meditate every morning, and I say, yeah, if everyone would do that on his own will, I think we would have peace on the world. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. So, why did we come into this bare metal provisioning with Redfish? Yeah? So at first we wanted to have Kubernetes on bare metal in order to run OpenStack there with Kubernetes operators. And we wanted to have completely automatic provisioning of the bare metal servers with operating system, Kubernetes on it. We wanted to have the firmware updates automatically done from some engine, and always do the firmware settings. And we want to have layer 3 networking on the host. So we have a FR daemon running on the host, peering with the leaf switches and propagating the routes there. We made some decisions. We said, okay, let's use open source as much as possible. So we did not want to reinvent the wheel or do things on our own where it's not necessary. So this is a pragma we live in our company. We wanted to use existing tools. So this was, okay, we used Kubernetes, of course, and then we found a tool upstream which is called MetalCubed. It's basically a Kubernetes operator which has OpenStack Ironic standalone inside. And this Ironic instance is managing the bare metal servers. And Ironic is very good in doing that. So re-implementing all the stuff which is in there would have been very, very much work. And unknowns which are already solved by Ironic, you would have to solve on your own, and this is something we did not want to do. So that's why we decided for this path. And we decided to use Redfish rather than IPMI because it's decided a newer protocol and has advantages. So it has more features basically. And next slide you will see what we are doing there. And IPMI is so-called deprecated. It has security leaks here and there, and so we said, okay, let's go for the Redfish way. And yeah, so on this slide, you see the data flow when you do inspect with Ironic with a server. So the red arrows, you see the Redfish calls. So, but let's go from top to bottom. So a user adds a bare metal host to the Kubernetes, which is handled by the bare metal operator. It tells the Ironic server here, this is a new node, please check if you can access it. Then Ironic says, okay, let's check, are the credentials valid? And if everything is fine, information goes back. Afterwards, you start an inspection. And for this inspection, for the start of the inspection, Ironic can create a customized ISO image for booting the servers. This helps to bring the layer 3 networking configuration for the first boot, for the inspection boot of the server. So we basically add their networking information. We have ASN numbers, BGP secrets, whatever is needed, yeah, for the connecting to the network. And this ISO image is pushed to the Ironic HTTP server. So this has several components in the Ironic there. Then we have this, then Ironic turns off the server to be sure we have a clean state. Then it mounts this prepared ISO EPA image. EPA stands for Ironic Python agent via Redfish to the BMC. And this BMC now has to pull this ISO from the HTTP server. And basically, this is already the first point where you get nice, interesting things with the implementations of the BMC. Then the boot device is set via Redfish, and the server is turned on. And if everything goes right, you boot the server with this ISO, and you don't need the data fabric of the server first until this point to spin it up and to make an inspection. Only, and then you see in the last line, then this RAM disk image is booted, and it inspects the hardware and sends back this image to this data which was gathered to the Ironic server. And after that, you can handle it, and you can say, okay, what do I want to do with the server? I want to have it as a Kubernetes control plane or whatever, and you can provision it, and then the next flow goes on. This is just the inspection. And you already see there are just a few Redfish calls which should work out of the box for every BMC, but this is not the case. Yeah, so for AMI implemented BMCs, you can only boot from Samba or CIFS or NFS, for example, which is not covered by Ironic, for example. There's only HTTP boot possible, and so on. Then we want to do other management with the BMC as well. So from simple stuff like you have an initial credential for a BMC, you want to set a password, so change the password. Sometimes works, sometimes not for the BMCs, which is really basic stuff in my opinion. Set a static network configuration. Same experience. Yeah, at the beginning you have a DHCP configuration on the BMC. You want to switch to a static one. It says okay, everything is fine, but it does not set the configuration. BIOS parameters works well, for example, with Supermicro, but other implementations, so. And updating BMC and BIOS is interesting. Yeah, so so. What is the total sum up for us? So we got documentations from the vendors which say, okay, this should work, this works like this endpoint is there in Redfish, but these features are not working. So this is it's just documented, but it's not working. Yeah? So in a former project, we had the luck to work with the Thomas Krenn guys. They are very close to the hardware vendor, and they were able to fix the stuff. Yeah. So, but if you are, for example, using a Dell or whatever, you're just a number. Yeah. So this is really hard. And and getting okay means nothing. Yeah. So this is really you get an okay from the Redfish API, but it does not work. It does not do anything. Firmware updates, we had really death BMC, so we had to turn off the servers and flash them via UART cable, again, so this was really hard, and this interaction with firmware vendors is not always possible, so we would love to give feedback to these vendors, but if you are just a consumer, you are not in the way to interact with Dell or HP or something and to give this constructive feedback there. And I always say, this Redfish specification is just treated as an idea by most hardware vendors. They say, okay, we have this tree for us, and we do it on our way because maybe we know it better. And that's a little bit annoying if you do automation, so because you want to treat the servers all in one. But there is light on the horizon, so there is an OpenBMC implementation, there is core boot, and these implementations, we had the luck to have them in hand already, and this is different, it works, it just works, so I say it's possible, but we have to take care, because AMI, for example, is also capturing this OpenBMC, and they do their own OpenBMC implementation, which is of course different. And so if you have the opportunity to talk to any hardware vendor, or if you are asked, what would you prefer? Tell them OpenBMC from the upstream project and contribute to the upstream project. This helps everyone at the end, I think. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are on top of the hour, so we don't have time for questions, sorry, but I'm sure people can find you in the break.
Yeah, of course.